Let's move on now. Iran is pressing at a new choke point in West Asia. Its Houthi allies have imposed a naval blockade on Saudi Arabia in what appears to be a tactical move by Iran to gain leverage. 5 tankers changed course in the Red Sea to avoid the el-Mandeb Strait on Wednesday. 3 tankers carrying Saudi oil to China and India also made U-turns on Tuesday. The Houthis say their forces carried out missile and drone strikes on 2 Saudi oil tankers in the Red Sea, identifying them as the Encilia and the Layla. The Saudi state's news agency confirmed that the Encilia was struck, causing a fire at its bow. A maritime security source said the Encilia transmitted a distress call reporting that it had been hit by a missile near the Saudi port of Jizan. Iran's near total blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, once the route for almost 1/5 of global energy transit, had already stoked inflation around the world by pushing up oil prices. The Yemen-based Houthis control areas near the el-Mandeb Strait on the opposite end of the Arabian Peninsula from the Strait of Hormuz. el-Mandeb carries close to 7.4 million barrels of oil a day, roughly 7% of global output. If both choke points were to shut simultaneously, analysts warn that a quarter of the world's oil and gas supply could be at risk. So Saudi Arabia, this has become a two-front energy siege. Millions of barrels of Saudi oil have been diverted to the kingdom's Red Sea port of Yanbu to bypass the Strait of Hormuz. If those shipments cannot pass through the Red Sea's southern strait, they would have only the northern route through the Suez Canal, adding weeks to the journey and driving up shipping costs. This threatens to draw Riyadh deeper into the conflict. The Saudi-backed Yemeni government last week bombed Sana'a International Airport, which is under Houthi control. In response, the Houthis fired missiles at Saudi Arabia. Now, Riyadh may have to join the war to protect its economic interests. If that happens, the war could expand further. According to Reuters, senior Pakistani leaders have told Tehran that any attack on Saudi Arabia will be viewed as an attack on Pakistan and its defense pact to Saudi Arabia. President Trump has already suggested that the Houthis move to disrupt shipping in the Red Sea could draw the United States into the conflict.
We've done that with the Houthis before, and we haven't heard from them in a while since we did what we did originally. That was about 45 days of very powerful action we took against the Houthis. And we've had no problem with the Houthis. They've had no problem with us for a long period of time, including during this conflict. I think that if there is something like that, we'll just have to take care of business.
Taking on the Houthis would mean stretching American resources that are already focused on confronting Iran. In the past, the Houthis have successfully withstood Saudi and US-led bombing campaigns for months. The latest escalation in the Red Sea represents far more than just another shipping disruption. It gives Iran a powerful new source of leverage. It is another example of how a war that Trump initially presented as a focused bombing campaign to force Iran's capitulation continues to evolve, deepening the political challenge for Trump. We earlier spoke to Mr. Jacques Rouche. He's a researcher at the London School of Economics. This is what he told us.
We have to be cautious when we're looking at this evolving situation. There are a few factors that are still unclear. The first is just how comprehensive this potential Red Sea blockade will be. This could be a one-off incident, or it could be a blockade that widens to the scope that we saw in previous years that resulted in U.S. intervention. The second factor that's still uncertain is just how capable the Houthis will be of maintaining this blockade without the level of material and intelligence support from Iran they've enjoyed previously, because Iran is currently obviously bogged down in a war with the United States, and it seems unlikely that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps would be able to continue supplying the Houthis at the level they have previously.